Hello, hello. Apparently my internet connection is questionable. Surprise, surprise. Welcome back. It's Chris. I'm here in the cellar at the second glass, talking weekly wine flights, cellar chats, all things fun. Yes, you read the title correctly. We are talking Pinot Grigio, and it is delicious. So quit hating on it. There is one caveat. Good Pinot Grigio is delicious. Bad Pinot Grigio, well, it's simply that. It's bad Pinot Grigio, and there's a lot of it. I do apologize. Oh, wait. We're back. We're back. I do apologize. Sorry. I don't know how much of that you caught. I'm slowly losing my voice, so I'm going to make this pretty short this week, but you know what? I try to make it short every week, so no surprise there. Again, talking Pinot Grigio. I like Pinot Grigio. I said it. I'm okay with it. I stand by it. It can be an absolutely delicious wine, and we've got three killer examples. Arguably, the most famous place for Pinot Grigio, or Pinot Gris, those who've seen it out there, it's the same grape, it's just spelled differently, would be Alsace in France. That is really where, not necessarily where it comes from. Pinot Grigio is a natural mutation of Pinot Noir, or Pinot Bianco, Pinot Blanc. They're all mutations of the same grape. We'll move on from that nerd fest. But Alsace is probably the most famous, at least the most highly regarded region. It is where Pinot Grigio, Pinot Gris can be planted in Grand Cru sites. But for me, it's all about Italy. Northern Italian Pinot Grigio is exceptional, and that's where we're going today. We're going to start out in the Alto Adige, kind of larger region above that is the Vignettes del Dolomiti. This is Tiefenbrunner. This is their entry-level Pinot Grigio. Then we're going to move into one of my personal favorites, Venica and Venica, the Jesera. So very good. And then a very fun style of Pinot Grigio that is traditional and has a long history, Ramato from Attems. So let's jump into it. We're kind of running the gambit here of styles. We're starting out clean, fresh, mineral with the Tiefenbrunner. And this week, to me, it's all about really showcasing the versatility of Pinot Grigio and how the wines can be really great in different facets of styles. So Tiefenbrunner, we're talking mineral, crisp, fresh, that classic high alpine Alto Adige region. Again, we're basically right up on the Austrian border. This falls within the Vignetti del Dolomiti, which is a larger kind of like IGP labeling that encompasses pretty much all of Alto Adige and a little bit of another region. I can't remember exactly, but it's a very large region, not as specific as Alto Adige. But you'll find a lot of wines made by producers in the Alto Adige region will label their wines this way if they source fruit from several places. So you can tell just a really pretty kind of translucent, straw, clear color. The nose is crisp. A lot of like kind of stone fruit, a little bit of pear peach thing going on. Bright palate, good texture, clean, reviving. It hits, it kind of hits all those things that I think most people look for or expect in a Pinot Grigio. It's a little fruity. It's easy to drink. Tiefenbrunner, I think, does a really good job, showcasing this while making really high quality wines. This is not your cheap $5 buy the glass at every restaurant, in town, or your $4 bottle of Pinot Grigio you find on the grocery store shelves. This is much higher quality. It, showcases those qualities that I think people like, which again is light, fruity, and easygoing. But there's a great minerality, and you can taste the quality of fruit. Like, these guys really care about what they're doing, and that makes a big difference. So, again, that's Tiefenbrunner, their Pinot Grigio from Vignetti del Dolomiti. That's really the clean, fresh, mineral, easygoing kind of style. And then we're going to move into Venica and Venica. These guys are based in the Collio and Friuli-Venezia Giulia. These days run by Giampaolo Venica, who is just an amazing, wonderful human being. The whole family is excellent. They make great wines across the board. This wine, again, a little special for me. Is one of those Pinot Grigios, or one of those wines that, like, I had it and I went, oh, this is so amazing. I didn't realize that this grape could drink like this. And ever since, I've had a soft spot for this wine. So like I said, we're going to run a few styles of wines of Pinot Grigio today, or this week. So this one, still again, clean, fresh. These guys are really about minerality, you know, and showcasing the place that they're from. Classic Ponca soils. So you can see a little bit of coppery hue, slight kind of tinges of like orange color here. And that's because Pinot Grigio is Grigio is gray. So meaning the skins are not green. So most white grapes are green. Red grapes are, yep, you guessed it, red, black, purple, whatever you want to call it. But there's a handful of grapes out there that usually have, you know, the indicator Grigio, I can't remember what the other ones are, but they're slightly off color. They're not actually gray. They're kind of like a copper orange. It kind of varies in colors. But generally speaking, the Pinot Grigio you find in Friuli quite often has that coppery color. And you find it in other places, but not everybody leaves it in contact with the skins. In Friuli, there is a long, long history of skin contact on white wines, particularly with Pinot Grigio. We'll find it even more so in the next wine. But Venica kind of falls in the kind of middle ground. They do about 4 to 8 hours of skin contact, so you get great textural element. You get a little bit of that coppery color, which is so historical here. Now, this is, just to be clear, the Jesera from Venica is not an orange wine. Now, an orange wine is, you know, for me, I dictate it based on tannin quality and the depth of color. This is just a very mildly skin contact Pinot Grigio that, for me, is all the things I ever want in a great Pinot Grigio. Again, the nose, mineral, fresh. We're leaning more towards like kind of saline orchard fruits. And what you really get here, going from the Tiefenbrunner over, is an overall like mouthfeel textural element. It's still, again, I say it a lot, that saline minerality. It makes your mouth water. So much flavor, so much freshness, but there's a breadth on the palate that just carries that, and it lingers. And it, you know, in wine nerd terms, we talk finish. It has a great finish, meaning that it has a lot of great aftertaste, which is like the, I don't know what else to say, but I'll say aftertaste. Not wrong, you're spot on. You know, wine people just like to make us sound a little more pompous than we really are. So we say, oh, it's a finish. It's the finish. Regardless, the wine is super tasty. Really pretty color. I love what these guys are doing. A lot of sustainability work here. And the wines are excellent. So again, Venica, they're Jesera, Collio, Pinot Grigio from Friuli-Venezia Giulia. All right, moving into the most historic style of Pinot Grigio for this region. So this is Attems. This is their Ramato. So which means copper. So copper in color. So there's a very long, like I said before, long tradition of leaving Pinot Grigio particularly on the skins for a period of time. Now, you do two things when you leave white wine on the skins. You pull color from the skins, and you pull tannins and like anthocyanins and texture and flavor, and there's so many things that come with that isn't just about changing the color. So when done correctly, you get a really pretty color, but you also get all of these other things. Now, for those of you who are not chemistry science people, from what I understand, anthocyanins are basically an antioxidant, which means it's a preservative. So it's a natural preservative that helps keep the wine fresh and delicious. So this wine, again, Ramato, really pretty, slightly more orange hued. It's pretty close to the Venica. I didn't actually find how long. I don't know how long they leave it on the skins. I'm going to guess maybe a day or so. So just barely longer than Venica does. You know, arguably, you could probably call Venica a Ramato style, but the family doesn't refer to it that way, so I'm not going to call it that. Now again, how does Ramato differ from orange wine, which is very end, it's very trendy. I like them, not all of them, but I like them. And basically everything I can find talking about the differences as you guys are looking at my face through a wine glass, about the differences of them is really Ramato has a long traditional history in Friuli specifically, with the Pinot Grigio grape specifically. Whereas orange wine as a category, or skin macerated white wines, or amber wines, or what have you, has a history here, but it changes grape varieties. So you've got Ribolla Gialla, you've got a long history with, Eastern European grape varieties that I honestly don't know the names of, but this was a very old way of making wine. You literally would just take the grapes, you put them in a container, you let them ferment, you leave it all together because at the time you didn't have any of the equipment to destem or press off the skin, so you just made it however you could, and you would end up with what was called basically amber wine, and it was amber in color. Pretty straightforward. A little more complex than that today, although some people do it that way. But Ramato is really Pinot Grigio grape specific, and it's a much shorter maceration, and really what you're looking for is, at least in my experience, a textural element, but it doesn't go so far as getting tannic. Whereas orange wine, in my opinion, is almost always tannic. So if it's skin macerated and it doesn't have a little tannins from a white wine concept, then I really wouldn't put that into orange wine. But someone would disagree. So anyways, let's taste the Attems. Lots of peach apricot characteristics, a lot more fruit here. Whereas the Venica, I think, is, although there's plenty of fruit, it's very mineral, it's very saline, very kind of, we'll call it Chablis-esque, kind of inspired by that style of wine, whereas this has got a lot more textural elements, a lot richer on the palate and the nose. And just a pure delight to drink. Wow, that is really pretty. Again, in many ways, the Attems kind of embodies both of these other two wines. It brings in a little more fruitiness and a little more easygoing drinking qualities that you find in the Tiefenbrunner. It brings in that textural element and a little bit of minerality of Venica, and then kind of smashes them together into one thing. So really, really fun. Again, Pinot Grigio, don't hate on it. It's good. Just find the good ones. And these are three really good ones. Tiefenbrunner from the Vignetti delle Vignetti delle Dolomiti in the Alto Adige area. Venica from Collio specific in Friuli-Venezia Giulia. And then Attems, which is just labeled Friuli DOC, so Friuli-Venezia Giulia, they're Ramato. Drink some Pinot Grigio. Enjoy it. They're great wines for this time of year. It's still hot out, but we got those nice cool evenings. So come out, support your good friends here at Second Glass, grab some food, grab a flight. Be safe. I'll see you next week.